Good morning, everybody. I'm sitting out here having my coffee before I actually do my meditation and walking and exercise. Actually, I'm going to be jump roping this morning. But I really wanted to come on here today and talk about the things going on in the world right now with the whole all the racism and stuff going on, you know. And I want to share with you my story regarding racism. I grew up in Rahway, New Jersey, and Rahway originally was named Rawak. Rawak was originally like an Indian, American Indian town or reservation or whatever. And in my little town, uh, my mom was born there and all her sisters. Um, I didn't experience racism in Rahway because everyone that I grew up with, and I'm sure some have, but I didn't. But some have. I always experienced racism outside of Broadway in the neighboring towns like Clark, some of Cranford, and some in Winfield Park. My very first experience with racism was probably when I was about 8 years old. My sister married an Italian guy, and she lived in Winfield Park. Winfield Park was almost like all white except for a few blacks that was in there, which probably were married to white individuals or people who were people of non-color, of not black and brown color. And I'll never forget, we went over to my sister's house to, just hang out or whatever. It was a bunch of us and, my family. And some of us kids was outside playing. It was a bunch of different color kids. And then some little boy and I guess his siblings came and, I'll never forget this. He he had the audacity, to call us niggas. And that's not a good thing when someone is calling you a nigga. So I'll never forget because I've always been the type that I stand up for myself. I ain't playing them games with you. So I remember at such a young tender age, I went to him and I said, "Who you think you calling a nigga?" And he started spilling some more stuff. I'll never forget. And I was young at the time. I beat his ass. I sure did. I did. I beat his ass because I was like, "Who the fuck you think you calling a nigga? That ain't that ain't what we do." And I'll never forget his mama came out there and was like, "What was going on?" I said, "He called me a nigga. He called us a nigga." I said, and at a young age, I had a mouth on me. I had a mouth like an adult because I had a lot of aunts and cousins that were older, and I grew up very verbal. My mama and them, they some verbal women, very very strong verbal women. And I'll never forget. I told her. I said, "Your son called me and called us niggas." And yup, I sure did. And I'll never forget. She grabbed that boy by his ear and was popping him. I was like, had him get in the house. That was my first incident with racism. Then my second incident was in Clark. Clark is notorious for following black folks all the time. I used to hate having to go through there to go to my aunt's house because my aunt lived in Cranford. And it was almost like when you drive through there, you had to sneak through there. It, 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 that's a crazy feeling to feel like you don't want to come into contact with someone who is gonna stop you. And I've been stopped and for bogus stuff that by police. My second incident with the police Because I was always like, growing up, I'm not gonna lie. Every time I got stopped by an officer, I was afraid. You know, my third incident was when I worked at Macy's customer service in Cranford, and it was on Myrtle Street. And I'll never forget this day. I had a baseball cap on, and I was on my way home, and I was actually going to be on my way the next day to do my registration for my car, renew it and stuff, because I knew it had expired because I had to get something fixed. So I'll never forget when I turned at the light, when I was waiting at the light, I saw the cop that was at the red light sitting there. So I turned the corner, and lo and behold, he thought I was a guy. Yes, he thought I was a male. And he pulled me over. When he got to the car, you should have saw his face. When I rolled down the window and said, yes, he thought I was a black guy with expired tags. Crazy. His face was like, yeah, you thought I was a guy. I'm a woman. I got on a baseball cap. I'm all woman. You see, every day of your life, being black and brown, you do have an underlying sometimes. I used to have an underlying fear. I don't have a fear any longer because I know I'm divinely protected. I know that my guiding angels are always watching over me, and I speak that every day, not just for me, but because I also have a son. My son is 23, and I've always been one that I always growing up, track his my son where he's at, because I care about his safety. And it's sad that you gotta think that way. And even to this very day, like, I check on my son regularly. I check on all my kids regularly, but I make sure that they're okay. But I have a good son. He's a good boy. He's a good, not boy, young man, because he's a husband, and he's a great soul. And this racism thing is so unproductive and ridiculous, and it's a true real oxymoron. And the reason why I say that is because so many of you racist people sit here and say you believe in God. You told a Bible that tells you that God is not one that's partial. He's impartial. He's the giver of life. How can you not respect a divine being and entity that has produced life of all colors? Our soul has no color to it. Yes, we all have different abilities and things about us, but you can't be a lover and say you believe in God and a divine source doing things that are contrary to that. That is the way of what's called hypocrisy, because you can't be that. And you've never seen God. No one has. No man has. Not in flesh. It doesn't make any sense. And what it is people who, I believe people who, in my opinion, I believe a lot of people who tend to be racist, it's something deep embedded in that lineage. And it's not for me to understand. And I don't care if you don't like me. But damn it, you gonna learn respect. You gonna learn that. And you can't think that your life is gonna be any better by doing things to people that are inhumane and just not right. No. See, I believe in the universal law of judgment and karma. I let karma take care of people who do things like that because you can't escape that. For every action, there's a reaction and there's also a consequence. So you'll have to deal with your consequences. And those consequences will maybe not hit you, but it will hit sometimes your family, those you love, till you get it. And some of you won't get it. And you'll have to live your life not feeling good, because you can't tell me that that's a good feeling to be in the energy of hatred all the time. You give yourself a false sense that you're happy and you're not. You're miserable. That's why you do the things that you do. But for all of my black and brown people, and even all of those who are non-black and brown, who are white, Caucasian, whatever you go by, who are doing good things, keep doing good. Keep being positive. Keep showing the world through your behavior and your actions the change you want to see, because we definitely need that. And that's how I live my life. I have friends that are of all backgrounds and nationality. I love people. I do. I enjoy learning about their history of their people and their ethnic background. I have some friends that are just, I got a melting pot of good friends. And I'm grateful because I've asked God to bring those people into my life. And when I tell you, my best friend, she's Jewish. We've been best friends for over 22 years. She's the auntie to my kids. My family loves her. My fleshly family's met her and they love her. I have a Latina soul sister friend. I love her to death. My spicy Latina. My soul sister who's Guyanese. I love her too. I work with her. Her and I have become very close. There's not a time that we don't, feed each other soul good things. And, she understands because she too is a brown sister, but she's just of a different ethnic background from me. And I learned so much from her. I have friends that are of Asian descent. Like I said, I have a melting pot. Like I said, I'm grateful for having grown up in a town where I grew up with friends of all colors and backgrounds. Some of my nearest and dearest friends that I talk with today from school are people of, melting pot. But like I said, do not allow the negative things in this world to affect you in a negative way, to put you in a negative space. Always preserve yourself first. You remember at the top of your list, regardless of what's going on in this world. You deserve peace. You deserve equality. You deserve the right to not be fearful for yourself, your children, your family. You deserve that. And as you continue to still even be in the energy of, you've had enough, I'm not going to take it, and continue to vibrate high and be the positive change that you want to see in the world, your world around you is going to change. It is. It's going to change. Your life will flourish continually. Yes, there will still be chaos in the world, but you know that you're living your life according to divine order, according to the purpose that God gave you, that the universe gave you, where you came down here on this very earth to be, have your experience as a human. You're handling your purpose. You're living your purpose. You're thriving. Do not allow anyone or anything to move you off your square. Keep vibrating high. And I just wanted to share that with you to let you know that I love you guys. I'm grateful for everyone who supports my channel. Please be sure to like this video, and I have plenty more that I share because I love sharing my journey. I love sharing pieces of me with you. And protect yourself always. You have the right to protect yourself. Um, you are a free being. You have a right to your opinion. But remember, you can change you and only you. People who don't want to change, they're not going to. And that's their right. But you continue to be the change you want to see in the world. And that's doing your best and showing people. And that will, positivity can definitely continue to flourish. But I thank you guys for listening to me. Like I said, like, comment, and subscribe. Share my videos with people, and encourage people to come here, because I'm trying to build a platform for just helping people to see life is all about how you look at it. That's what life is. Change the way you look at things, and you can change the world and anything, and it changes your circumstances. But I thank you guys, and I love you, and I hope you have a great day. I love you, Soul Tribe. Take care. Namaste.